Hi everyone, welcome back to Bike to Table, the channel where we go for a little ride and enjoy the road and all things riding, then head to my kitchen and make a meal that is fun, easy, and delicious. I'm John, I'm up here in Northeast Ohio. You're watching a little more of my Tale of the Dragon ride while we're chatting today. Wow, it has been an interesting and stressful start to the new year already. I'm not going to get into things here, but that's not what this channel is about. But needless to say, I have been shocked and outraged by people, inspired and hopeful from others. The good old red, white, and blue has been put to the test, and it stands strong. Moving on to today's video. You see here I'm following a few bikes on the Tail of the Dragon. One thing about the Tail is learning to be aware of faster riders and have the courtesy of pulling over. Let fast bikes go past. Usually it's me pulling over for a sports bike or a lightweight cruiser with a person that has more experience than I do. For those of you who haven't ridden the Dragon, courtesy of others behind you is very important. These folks have had many pullovers or spots they could have let me pass, but they just aren't. So I assume that they're newer riders, or since they are both riding two up, that the back seater doesn't want them to hit the curves hard. They're probably trying to save themselves that earful when they get to the far end. I don't blame them, do you? It's normal on this road to use the pullovers, especially now that they are paved. Used to be just gravel right to the drop-off. You can safely pull over to about 4 or 5 miles per hour, let the traffic pass, then lean back into the road and continue on. I'm totally fine with riding your own ride. I did it for years on this road. I took my time. I was stressing on every curve, every dip on the road. It takes time to get comfortable here. I'm trying to be patient with these bikes, and I'm glad they're going to let me by soon. I admit that I did get frustrated when they didn't even pull over and wave me by at this huge overlook paved area. It's just safer to keep your patience on the Dragon, because what can happen is you get that frustration level in there, you get upset, you get the adrenaline running, you get impatient, that takes hold of you, and that's when you make stupid decisions. I do have a story that one time I had to be uniquely patient because I was doing a great ride. I was going fast, turn after turn. I'm really doing great. And then as I approached a pull-off, there was a souped-up red Mustang convertible. He actually screeched his tires to get out in front of me. I literally saw the tire spin and the wheels smoke, and I had to brake for him. But he proceeded to go slow for the first few curves. I caught up to him. He passed a few pullovers with me behind him. I was even making sure in case he wasn't sure about the road. Maybe it was his first time there. I was counting 2 seconds behind him. He'd go super fast in the little bits of straightaways or getting to the next curve and then slow way down. Back and forth, cat and mouse like that. When I caught up, he would just stay slow, then he'd race ahead. It was like that for the rest of the 318 curves. He went past 25 of these pull-offs. I had the feeling he was playing with me just because he could. My advice in this situation, just back off and let him go. I wasn't going to try to pass on a curve, and my bike certainly did not have the power to pass a turbo V8 Mustang. The other thing you could do is just pull over. Wait for a minute or two and let him and his testosterone get far ahead of me and let him bother somebody else. Either way, being safe and coming back home to a rental cabin or an apartment or a hotel room after a day of riding is a good thing. So what am I making today? I am excited to show you this recipe for something simple. Chicken quesadillas and corn. We are doing a fun little flavorful twist on both of these. You're going to love it. Before we get to the kitchen though, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. One of my goals this year in 2021 is to gain 4 or 5 subscribers a month. So please share this video on your Facebook page or grab the link, copy it and text it to a friend who may like riding or may like to cook. Feel free to comment below if you have something you want to see, and I'll do my best to fit it in. Or if you just have a question, I'll be happy to answer it. Thanks again for watching. Now let's get to the kitchen. Hi everybody, welcome to the kitchen. Thanks for hanging in there with me. What are we making today? We're going to make some quesadillas and some wonderful Mexi-corn. Let's check out, see what we got at the store. So at the store today we ended up getting some chicken. We have some soft flour tortillas, cheese mix. We have feta cheese, some olive oil, pineapple. We have some green onions, a poblano pepper. We have corn on the cob. We had some sriracha. We have some chipotle dust. We have some regular seasoning and some dry rub for barbecue. And just like that, our prep is done. We started off with our corn. We cut that in half, brushed it lightly with some olive oil. That we're going to cook that after a while. First up is going to be our chicken. We cut it into nice cube shaped, a little bit slender cube, probably a 1/2 inch cut, and then cubed it on the 1/2 inch. We have our peppers, our poblano pepper. We just cut into little about inch long slices. We chopped up our onions, separated the onion greens from the onion whites. What we did is, with the pineapple is we put that in a strainer and pressed out the juice so it's nice and dry, because you don't want to add a lot of moisture to your quesadillas. It's just going to get all over the place and make a mess. First, let's take care of seasoning the chicken. So we have our chicken already. We're going to put in our poblano peppers because we're going to cook it with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Then what we're going to do is get about a tablespoon of our regular dry rub seasoning. Add that in. And then also sprinkle in some just regular plain ordinary seasoning. There we go. We just mix that together. Now what we've done on the stove while we've been prepping is we have a medium pan. It's set on medium-high heat because this mixture is going to go right into the pan and start cooking. As soon as we get it all mixed in there, because you can kind of look at the pieces of chicken, and you can see that they're kind of coated a little bit with the seasoning. That's perfect. So we'll get this over here. We'll get this started. There we go. Stir that around a little bit. Okay, that looks really good. We're going to let that sit on the stovetop for about 5 to 7 minutes. That's going to get nice and brown. After it's brown, that's when we're going to add in the pineapple and the whites of the onions. Mix it in and let that sit for another 2 or 3 minutes. That'll mix in the flavors really nice. We're going to scoop that out, put it into a bowl, mix it with some barbecue sauce. That's going to be the inside filling for our quesadillas. So it's been about 5-7 minutes. We're going to add in our onion whites. We're going to add in about half of our pineapple. And now the pineapple is optional if you don't want to use it. I like using it because I think the sweet and the spicy go really well together. This is going to mix in there. There we go. You know what? I feel like having more pineapple. Let's just dump the whole thing in. Let's just do it. We'll go for it. Pineapple away. Okay. And that's why it's fun in the kitchen. All right, so that's looking much better. More evenly dispersed with the pineapple. You can really smell the fragrance of the peppers and the pineapple. The dry rub that we put on there smells really, really good. We're going to let that settle for about 2 or 3 minutes. Let that cook in. What I did is, you can see that I've prepped the tortillas. We're going to do 3 in this batch. So we have cheese on the half. We're going to pre-fold on the end. So that way, when we go to put the filling in, they'll already have a crease in there. We'll top it with some more cheese, fold it in half, put it in the new pan, and get cooking. We are all set with the mixture for the filling. I'm going to drop that into a metal pan, because the metal pan will take the heat. Do a quick wipe out of the pan. We already have the other burner going on a 5 because we're going to drop in our corn. Now, when we make the corn, that's going to sit in there. You're going to want to rotate it as it cooks. It'll start to sizzle on one side. Just keep rotating it through until we're ready to plate. In the mixture that we have. Going to put in 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. And for that, I just like using a basic barbecue sauce that I can season if I want to or not. In this case, we're just going to mix it in there as is because we already have enough seasoning. We already have enough flavor in there. That is looking really good. So that's going to be our fillings for inside of our quesadillas. So we're going to put the filling inside of the tortillas that we've already put the cheese on. I've divided the chicken mixture into thirds, and we will just drop that in on each one. Now I'm not sure about you, but I like having quesadillas with a lot of fillings in there. Makes you feel like you really had something to eat, rather than just like a flimsy little thing sitting on the plate with a little bit of cheese and a little twig of chicken or something. No, you want to have good hearty quesadillas. So after we spread the chicken mixture out, we're going to add in some more cheese on top. That'll make sure the top sticks to the cheese, sticking to the filling, and it's going to be delicious. Can't wait to show you how it's going to end out. We just fold those over, press those a little bit. Okay, there we go. We're getting those stuck in there. And on the stove, we put our large pan on with a tablespoon of olive oil inside of it because we're going to start cooking these. On one side, it'll be about 5 minutes or so. We're going to flip it and put it on the other side. So we'll get our oil around the pan. And what I like doing is I like putting the round part of the quesadilla to the round part of the pan. I'll do them in batches of 3. That kind of fits in there, kind of. And then this way, there we go. That way the cheese also, if any comes out while it's cooking, the cheese meets that tortilla that's kind of up on the lip, and it really doesn't drain out and spread out and go everywhere. So that's going to stay on there. Again, we're on medium heat. That's going to stay on for about 5 minutes on each side. Let's check in on the corn. That's doing pretty good. Again, we're starting to see a little bit of that char starting up there. And that's what we want to see. We'll just keep rotating that as the quesadillas cook. Going to be a great dinner. Can't wait to share it with you. We're going to take a little peek at our quesadillas to see how theirs are coming along. Let's see if I can get underneath there. See how that's getting a nice golden brown? Almost time to flip over. Almost. A little bit more, because what we want to have is we want to have that soft inside where the toppings are and the cheese and a nice crisp exterior. That makes a great quesadilla. Our corn's coming along too. We're just rotating that around as we go. And we just keep rotating it. That'll cook as well. Can't wait to show you what we're doing with that. So now comes the fun time. We get to try and flip these monster quesadillas. I like using a wide spatula to get a good footprint underneath it. Flip it all at once. Beautiful. Do you hear that? That's a crisp exterior on that quesadilla. Perfect. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. Flip that one. Nice and golden brown. Flip this one. Maybe we might want to flip that back towards the end. But we got some really good quesadillas going here. We got the corn going. And in the meantime, what we did also with that sriracha is we made a mayonnaise sriracha mixture. We put 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. We put in about a teaspoon of sriracha, kept whisking it in. We added a little bit as we go to taste till it gets to be about the color of Thousand Island dressing. And you want to taste it as you go because sometimes it gets a little bit spicy. Mine is a little bit spicy because that's just the way I like it. It's going to go great on this corn. Yeah, the corn, not the quesadillas. Check it out. I don't know about you, it's my favorite time, plate up time. We're going to get the corn out there first. A little bit hot, but that's okay. We have a nice char on that corn here. Well done. We have our wonderful golden brown quesadillas. We'll just put one on here for right now. Let's take it over here. We're going to finish this off. We're going to cut the quesadilla into thirds. So we got that crisp on the outside, the soft on the inside. You can hear it crunch as I go through to the plate. We have the nice fillings on the inside here, still in there. Next up is going to be our chipotle seasoning. We're just going to tap that on top of the corn. Nice light dusting on that. Spice things up a little bit. We're going to drop on our sauce. Again, this is that sriracha sauce. We put it in a Ziploc baggie, cut off an end, so that way we can use it kind of like a little bag. We could do like a little fancy little S-curve on here. A little bit more on the other one. That's going to be there. We grab our feta cheese, crumble that on top. There we go. We'll grab our green onions, put that on here a little bit, and then top off this even if we want to with a little bit more green onions. And there we go. We have our chicken quesadilla with our spiced Mexi-corn. And my name is John. Thanks for watching Bike to Table. And remember, live to ride, ride to eat.